little setup for AI characters and how to bring in a character downloaded from Mixamo into the scene and utilize it as a character, replacing the default Ethan one. Okay, so in my scene, just a quick review. So in my scene, I got this map. On the map, I brought in my meshes that create the map as objects, mesh renderers into the scene, and I baked the settings so that there's a character in here. If it's an AI character, it's limited to only traveling on the blue area that you see on this nav mesh, and you can hide it. Okay, and so my AI character is limited to only traveling in areas on the map that have been marked as walkable. Okay, I'm going to just close that limiter. So on the character itself in the inspector, there are quite a few settings I could play with. The only things that I've done is I've reduced its speed just so that we can see its movement a little better. And I've given it a stopping distance of 3. And where it says AI character controller, I put the main camera, which is part of the rigid body first person controller, I've set that as the target just by clicking and dragging it over. I haven't touched any of the speed settings at all. It's just the default character. So the cylinder that you see, that's the nav mesh agent. So that's what is being set as the shape of the nav mesh agent. The pill shape is the actual collider on the object. Okay. And so now basically I'm at the stage where I want to use another character, replacing the default Ethan model with another character downloaded from Mixamo. On the Mixamo site, you needed an Adobe account, so you need to log in with an Adobe account. Doesn't mean you need to sign up for any subscriptions or anything. Just make yourself an account if you don't already have one, and you can pick a character to download. Now I'm using Ma, LIGO. You can pick other ones, and just so you know, I pick him because some issues do come up with it, but basically he works. If you want to bring one in that will work better, you can pick one that's more human proportioned. I'm showing him just to show some issues that can come up. But what we're doing is we're looking at just doing a rapid kind of prototype, and I'm bringing in a more complete character just so that the character pops out more against the background than anything else. Okay, so to get him, I hit download, and I used FBX Unity, and I downloaded it. And then when it was downloaded from the downloads folder, I dragged and dropped it into my Unity assets project. I didn't mention another way you could do it is you could say assets, import new assets, and you could go into your downloads and you could get more and you could import. Okay. I've already got it, so I'm going to cancel. Having brought that character in, again, I'm just doing a little quick review here. So the model, there are things in there that we don't necessarily need, like cameras and lights. There won't be any in that download, so you can leave that chunk. The rig, this is important. It needs to be changed to a humanoid rig. You need to say configure. When you hit configure, it'll prompt you to save your scene, which you should do. And typically when you're downloading from Mixamo, you won't need to do any fixes on the skeleton or any kind of weirdness. It will show basically all green lights on the map here mean everything is good. I mentioned that muscles, you could kind of play around with that a bit. We aren't going to. I'm just going to hit done. Okay, and then one thing I didn't mention, well, I didn't mention animation. We don't need animation. You can uncheck that. Materials also, you need to change it. You want to import materials, but you want to use external materials. The way Mixamo is set up, the materials aren't embedded in the file, so you need to bring those in as external. And it will change the naming in the search setting. Just hit apply, and you're basically good to go. In the assets folder, wherever you dragged and dropped or downloaded your character project to from Mixamo, it comes in like this. You expand it. This is the skeleton itself. This is a textured character. This is an untextured character. This is the avatar. So these are the objects for a skeleton. This is the rigging of the skeleton on the humanoid character. So in order for us to use it, the character has to have the skeleton built, and it has to have an avatar. Okay, so I'm back into my scene, looking at the third person controller. Just kind of focus in on that. So I can drag and drop Ma, and basically I want to line him up more or less centered on Ethan. I shouldn't say more or less. The more centered he is over Ethan, the better. But he's kind of big. His head is quite a bit above where Ethan's head is, so you're probably going to want to scale him down a bit. And if you scale him down a bit, he'll be above the ground, and you'll want to move him down basically until his feet are just at ground level. Okay, yeah, I think I'll scale him down a little bit more than that. Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave him right there. And I could round off these numbers for scaling, but I'm not going to bother. Okay, so here we have Ma as an object in the scene. He's separate from AI. I can click on May and drag him down into the third person control. So he is now a child object at the third person control. Ethan is in there too. I'm going to deactivate the Ethan parts just by selecting them, unchecking them. And just so you know, we aren't finished yet, but I want to show you what happens at this stage. So at this stage, if I hit play, I'll save scene first, hit play, and oh, I forgot, I already had it set. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I already have it set to use Ma's avatar, so I'm going to put it back so it's using Ethan's avatar. hit play. And he comes towards me, but he has no animations. Okay, hit escape. Stop. Okay, so animations, how does that work? So on that AI character control, there's this controller, third person animator controller. If I double click on that, I'm in the animator window and I'm looking at the base layer of that character. So here are the built-in animations for Ethan. When we enter the scene, it's moving by default into animations for when he is grounded. Okay, so is his collider on the ground? And if I double click on that, that is what's called a blend tree, which has basically different animations for turning, for walking, for running. Okay. As an introduction, as prototyping, we don't really want to start messing with that animation. We just want to use it the way it is. Okay. So there's grounded animations, there's jumping animation, there's crouching. The grounded one is really the only one we're going to use in this scene, but at least at the beginning. Okay, so we don't want to mess around with those. We want to just use them. So if I change Ethan's avatar, I can tell it to animate the Maw character instead, but where we brought it in, go back to assets. Here's my character. This is its avatar, which we want to replace the Ethan avatar. So I could drag and drop this one in. I can also hit the dot and it shows me these are all of the avatars that are in the scene. So I can use the Maw avatar instead. Save scene, hit play. We're in the scene, and now the Maw character is being our follower, just like Ethan was. So there's a few things to note. Just because those animations were built for the Ethan character, and the positioning of the arms and legs for Maw is a little weird. His arms kind of look like they're pulled in to his body too much, and same with his legs. They aren't really natural, but for prototyping purposes, this is fine. Okay, and his settings are just the same as Ethan's. I can run around the scene, and he's going to follow a little bit behind me, and he will find the shortest route. No matter how I dodge around these obstacles, he's not following my path. He's going to find the closest route from wherever he is to wherever I am. Okay, so that's the end of this section of the tutorial. Hope it's been clear so far. You can contact me through YouTube or through Twitter @SchoolTunes if you want any more help. Bye for now.